So the first thing that I wanted to do was just to say thank you, and for all of you to give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah. Because it's not an easy thing to start up a business, right? And so the first thing that I wanted to do was just to say thank you, and obviously I want to acknowledge Capital One. So let's give Capital One a hand. I can tell you definitively that there have been a handful of people from the very outset who supported RVAWorks. And Capital One was one of them. They were with us from the very beginning. They were our first grantor, and they made sure as we grew that we had the support from them that they needed. So it's been wonderful to work with Capital One, and we're so pleased to bring this event in here, and Tommy's going to tell you more about the space. The other thing that I wanted to recognize, just a handful of people who are here. Anyone who has ever spoken or facilitated one of the RVAWorks sessions, would you just raise your hand, please? No, there's more than that. I see Joanna back there. Robin should be raising her hand. Where's Glenn? Let's give them a round of applause, right? Because this does not happen without volunteers that are willing to suit up and show up and come in to actually pour into everybody who's coming through the class, and that's really, really important. The other thing that I wanted to do was also to recognize Will Radke, who's here with us. Will has joined our board of directors. He serves as our secretary. He's also been an advisory board member from the outset, going way back to when we were down at 5th and Franklin. So Will has also been a strong supporter of RVAWorks. So let's thank Will Radke. And so I'm just going to take a few moments just to say a few words about RVAWorks and why this stuff is really important. And I know that none of this is going to be new to you, but it's important to reiterate. The first thing is that we know the economy that we're living in at the moment, the way that it's currently functioning, is not sustainable. And we know that in order to have good solutions to the problems that we're facing as society, that we're going to have those solutions come up through the market, through private investment. Because the sad fact is, there's not enough money in government. There's not enough money in philanthropy. We need as many people as possible starting up new businesses and building businesses and driving profit through those businesses, doing the sort of things that you're doing.
Hallelujah, preach it, brother.
It's always good to have Gail. We know that there will be at least one person that's giving me a shout out. And we also know that if we want to do this well, it's about bringing people together. It's about inclusion and empowerment. And I love the statement that RVAWorks makes in that regard. It says, we say together, if you have the ability to start up a business, we want to make sure that you have the resources to do that. And that here in Richmond is important, and that's important in urban America, period. So let's give a round of applause for that idea. Now, the one other thing that I wanted to mention just before I hand over the microphone is Tommy is going to come up. Tommy's going to talk about the Capital One Cafe here. But before I just turn it over to Tommy, I wanted to say thank you to Jeff Sadler and DHCD, who have also provided grant funding for RVAWorks so that we can do all this stuff. So let's thank DHCD. So Tommy and I met each other a few months ago. He was here at the Capital One Cafe talking about community outreach and engagement, what Capital One is doing in terms of not just bringing people in from around the community to understand Capital One, but also the fact, and I think, by the way, this is a really important point, Capital One has really good products that are suited for small business owners. And if that's not already obvious, I'm going to say it. I'm not a Capital One employee, so I can. So there's stuff like tracking your credit, cards products, payment products, 401k products, all that stuff. And it's actually geared toward people who are new business and small business owners. So it's worth a look. Anyway, with no, did I do a good job?
That was good.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to turn it over to Tommy.
Thank you. Whoa, was that too much? So thank you again, everyone, for coming. Like Dale said, my name's Tommy Izzo. I'm the coach at the Capital One Cafe. But before I go any further, important information. Bathrooms. All the way in the back. So, if you go all the way to the back, you'll see a fire exit. Make a left there, go through our break room, and the bathroom's on the left. Figured that could, we have alcohol in the house, so that's important. But yeah, I'm up here. I just want to introduce the space, also give you a taste of something that we offer here in the cafe called money coaching. It's a free service, so we're going to do an exercise in that. That's why everybody should have a index card and a pen, okay? You don't need it right this second, but we'll be using those. At the cafe, we really like events like this because it allows us to do two things. Give back to a community partner by hosting a really cool event, bringing a bunch of people together. But it also allows us to really spread the mission of the cafe and let people know what we're doing in these places. Because you're probably wondering what this place is. When you heard that you were coming to Short Pump Town Center, you were probably a little confused. You're here, is this a coffee shop? Is this a bank? At the most basic level, the Capital One cafes were made to help people deal with stress around money. Because people told us all across the country, look, I'm stressed about my money, but I don't feel like I can go to my bank for help with that stress. For most people, that's more stressful. So that's why we made these places. And the people who work here, that work for Capital One, we're here to really be tour guides of the digital experience. So when you come in, it doesn't matter what you're asking about, whether it's a personal bank account, a business bank account, a credit card, a home loan, a car loan. We're going to show you how you can do it online on our website. Because the idea is to really empower people to kind of take control of their own finances and run with it on their own. In addition to that, we're big in the community, volunteering all the time. We go out to events, we host events, we showcase local business. In the cafe, if you've noticed the local art on the wall, Hamilton Glass painted that. He is a local Richmond muralist, does stuff all around the city. We sell local goods like pastries from Pearl's Bakery, Red Eye Cookies, Cupertino's Bagels. So we're really trying to not just do business in the community, but be a part of the community. Another thing and before I go further, I did want to introduce my ambassadors. So we've got Nina, she's in the back. Jacob, right there.
Right.
And we also have RJ, rocking the sound right now, so he's being kind of blocked by the speaker. So if you have questions later on, please feel free to bum rush them. I don't know anything, so it's all on them. No, I'm just kidding. But one thing that really wanted to talk about is money coaching. That's a service that we offer here in the cafe. It's completely free. You don't even have to be a customer of Capital One to take advantage of it. And it's probably like nothing you've ever experienced at a financial institution. It's like life coaching for your finances. So we have a certified life coach that works out of this location. Her name's Carmen Sulo. She's not here tonight, but she's talking through me. She actually she helped me put this exercise together. So money coaching is all about gaining clarity around your values and your goals, really removing any roadblocks you might be facing, and then building a plan so that when you're done with the coaching, you can actually apply it to what it is you're trying to do.